So in the previous videos, I talked about how Ethan Klein of the H3 podcast exposed political YouTube streamer Vaush for having material on his computer that was so indefensible that even longtime enemy of the H3 podcast, TIPSTER, came out in support of their call out of Vaush. But one of the few people who were brave enough to defend Vaush on this indefensible behavior was the YouTube commentator TIPSTER, who got into a bit of a back and forth with Ethan over their disagreement on this topic. And it ended up culminating in a live stream that TIPSTER did where he spends 3 hours criticizing Ethan's call out and defending Vaush for having cartoon lolly CP on his computer. But before we get into all of that, since I know TIPSTER is watching this video right now, I'd specifically like to let him know that this video is sponsored by Factor, the perfect solution for people who don't know how to cook good food or just don't have the time to do it. Because with Factor, every week you can get sent meals that are pre-prepared and ready to eat in 2 minutes or less. And what they send isn't your typical TV dinner. There are over 27 meal options each week, with most of those options focusing on health. And within those healthy meals, you can pick your own style, like one that's more focused on keto, low calorie, being vegan, vegetarian. However you want to eat, you will be able to do it with Factor, with the barrier to entry in cooking knowledge being 0. As well as every meal being ready to eat in 2 minutes or less, the time save and health benefits just make this a no-brainer to get if you are missing the time or skill to make proper meals for yourself. And I'm sure your body will thank you for your ability to consistently put good food into it. So if you want to check out Factor, you can get 50% off your first Factor box and free wellness shots for life using my link. That means you can choose 2 free wellness shots from 3 available flavors for every order while you are an active subscriber. Click the link in the description or scan the QR code with your phone in order to take advantage of this deal. Thank you so much to Factor for sponsoring this video, but for now, let's get back to it. Chris the Narc shares this clip from TIPSTER stream and says, "Ha ha 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 ha! Happy TIPSTERversary, chat!"
Vibin, ready to talk about today's topic with you guys. It's a very contentious topic, to say the least, and I think the thing that I hate the most about this topic is it's almost 1 year to the day that I had a fight with the YouTube commentary people revolving around a similar topic. Oh, shit! And I hate this particular topic because it just brings out like the biggest amount of brain rot amongst everybody on the internet. Like nobody could actually think about situations in terms of nuance or anything like that. They lose their fucking minds and they can't have a rational thought when it comes to this stuff. So it's really annoying to have a conversation revolving around this subject.
Comment Cop shares this clip and says, "Cheers, my horse. Love ya. No pedo."
He posts my tweet and says, "Cheers, my horse. Love ya. No pedo."
Andy Warski quote tweets this and says, "I got banned from TIPSTER's chat for saying he shouldn't defend CP. He is losing his mind." Chris shares this clip and says, "Wouldn't be a TIPSTER stream without bringing up trans people and transphobia over Ethan asking a question and firing off a joke."
Also, what the fuck is pedo jacketing? Why do you guys have such weird ass expressions for anything, everything? And how often are you being accused of being a pedo that you need a nickname for it? If the jacket fits, you must not acquit. Ethan, I don't know if you realize how optically bad what you just said looks. This looks fucking terrible, Ethan. You are talking to a community of people, the LGBTQ community, which are very regularly accused of being pedophiles and groomers constantly being accused of these things. And you're going to ask them the question, how often are you being accused of being a pedo that you need a nickname for it? If the jacket fits, you must acquit. That is the most insanely fucked up, homophobic thing, transphobic thing, anti-LGBT thing I've ever heard. Now, to be clear, I'm not saying I think that H3H3 is transphobic, homophobic, anything like that. I'm not saying these things, but you can make a statement that falls under that category without you yourself being those things.
Keemstar shares this clip and says, "TIPSTER is mad that people are calling him out for defending Vaush, who had cartoon CP on his hard drive."
And Keemstar, you can get the fuck out of my chat. Literally suck a fucking dick, dipshit.
Keemstar then shows this clip and says, "TIPSTER is mad at Happy Punch."
For children, which is an exact quote.
Hey, Keem. Thank you for showing up on the Happy Punch account. I have evidence that will put Tipster in jail this stream. Literally go fuck yourself, Keem. You are a disgusting human being, and I regret that I ever associated with you or ever defended you. You are a piece of trash. Go fuck yourself.
Here, I'll ask you. Just follow through.
No, I don't.
You're no better than Ethan is right here, if not worse. Didn't even know that was Keem. Yeah, he runs Happy Punch.
Keemstar then shares another clip and says, Tipster mad at Skyfire News.
Is the possession of child pornography immoral because it hurts people to make child pornography?
Ban Skyfire News. That's also Keemstar. Thank you.
Yeah, because you have to hurt children to make it. That's why it's immoral. It's not magically immoral. It's immoral because of the harm that is caused by it.
I told you, Keem, you're not welcome in my chat. This is my chat is my fucking house, and you're not welcome here, you bald gnome bastard. Get the fuck out.
So,
and then finally, Keemstar posts this clip and says, Tipster's mad at LolCow Live. Tipster has 300 live viewers. Last LolCow had over 5,000 live viewers.
It's the LolCow podcast doing these days, Keem. I saw you guys got an initial boost of views on that show, and then your, like, show just fucking died, like, weeks later. It's almost like you're kind of irrelevant these days, and you don't have the star power that you used to, Keem. That you can't make a podcast be successful overnight the way you used to.
Nicholas Diorio responds, he's the least threatening degen ever, lol. Blitz responds, how are these pedos not banned and jailed? Skelly tweets out this clip and says, oh no, Tipster wasn't happy about that, Keemstar. What will you do?
I'm not gonna lie. I'm pretty fucking heated. How dare Keemstar show his fucking face in my chat? Don't you ever show your face in my fucking chat again. You're not welcome here.
Squatchin responds, why does it sound like he's going to cry? Kristanark shares this Tipster clip and a safe for work picture of the girl that Vaush was caught having CP of on his computer and captions it by saying, Tipster, no!
Like I said, a lot of people, they started digging into these images. They allegedly found that some of these images, like one or two of these images might be lolly. And so they went on the Vaush is a pedophile thing.
Kristen follows up the clip by saying, mind you, this is just the still of the VTuber character. The actual photo on Vaush's computer has a horsecock with the girl. Keemstar responds, might be lolly. Kristen responds, bro, time is a fucking loop. It's happening again. Doc on the radio reacts to this by saying, might be. Tipster's hard drive should be investigated. Nick shares these chat messages from one of Tipster's mods and says, Tipster's mod has turned on him. Their first chat message says, why are people getting hidden for giving their opinion on the picture in question? Tipster is saying no one is willing to have a conversation, and people are expressing their feelings on the image, and they are being hidden? The image Vaush had def should and can be criticized. I don't think it's right hiding those comments that were expressing their disgust. Nick continues tweeting when he says, this is a total meltdown stream. He unmodded his own friends, lol. And then Keffel sent in her Third Reich mods to clean out any dissenting voices. He's playing the same level from his last Lollycope stream, lol. Referencing this video, titled My Response to the Drama that Tipster uploaded a year ago, where he was also defending Lolly while playing the first water level of Donkey Kong Country. Simpman responds by saying, next mod is targeted, showing that another one of Tipster's mods posted criticism in his chat when they said, can I just ask why it is okay for Keffels to joke about Keemstar being a pedophile, but it's out of pocket for Ethan to say this? I think both are wrong, but why? Nick continues tweeting when he says, bro, this Tipster stream is so bad, dude. Whatever reputation he has tomorrow morning when he wakes up is one he earned. Jesus Christ. He's so wildly unintelligent, it's actually fucking crazy. Zach Brown 61 says, remember, Tipster is a lolly lover, showing Tipster next to a sign that says, 0 days since last lolly lover defense. Keemstar shares this clip from Tipster's live stream and says, Tipster has died on the hill.
And I know there's a lot of people who are going to disagree with my position on this. That's fine. Not everybody has to agree with me. If I legitimately thought that Vaush was advocating for things that would potentially bring harm to children, I would not be defending him here. I would not be defending him if I thought he actually believed in, arguments in favor of child pornography. I would not be defending him if I actually believed he was in favor of sexual relationships between adults and minors. I would not be defending him for any of these things if this were true. I would be disavowing him. But the thing is, it's not true. And that's why I'm going to bat for him.
Keemstar then follows up this clip by quote tweeting this clip of Vaush and saying, this is the guy Tipster's defending.
Should consuming child porn be legal? I think that would be, yes, more legal and more ethically consistent. Yes, 100%.
The Quartering reacts to Keemstar by saying, Vaush is on record saying there's no moral argument against watching child porn. Mudahar responds by saying, we should all just agree child porn is filthy, and anyone defending it should be seriously investigated. Connor says, H3 makes a great point. The product of cobalt, chocolate, etc. is the product. Consumers buying that aren't buying it for child suffering. The product of CP is child suffering. There is no product there besides purchasing and consuming it for the direct reason of suffering. Keemstar then makes this Twitter video titled, I want Tipster arrested.
I'm furious. This is absolutely fucking disgusting. I am so fucking mad right now, and I want something to be done. As you all know, I've been covering the political streamer Vaush, who recently got caught with cartoon CP on his hard drive. He was streaming, opened up a folder, and sure enough, cartoon CP right there. Busted. Caught in 4K. Case closed. I'm so fucking angry I can't speak. And the streamer Keffels and the streamer Tipster defended him. They defended him. And that's so mind-boggling. Like, are all these people fucking criminals or what? Like, how do you defend that? You can't defend that. But it goes even farther. In this moment of Vaush getting canceled, Vaush getting exposed for having cartoon CP on his hard drive, Tipster decide it would be a good idea to not only go on live stream right now and defend Vaush, but also go back and defend everything that Vaush has said in his past. And trust me, he said a lot. At one point, he said, I haven't even heard a good argument why the possession of CP should be illegal. That's one of the statements that Vaush said. And he said many others. I want something done. Like, I want Tipster in jail. I want Tipster in jail. How is this? This is not defendable. Bro, this is so fucking frustrating. How are these people still online? They should be wiped off the fucking internet if you care about children's safety online. The shit that they're doing, the shit that they're fucking saying, them spinning around and creating false narratives to defend this shit is so fucking damaging and dangerous to our fucking internet. Like, I cannot fucking believe that they're not just like permanently banned on everything. Every fucking platform comes out saying that they're all for child safety, but these people fucking exist. And it's not a little story where only a few people know about it. It's a story that millions know about. How are they even here still? I want fucking Tipster's hard drive searched by the fucking FBI tomorrow. Fuck tomorrow, now.
XCG responds to Keemstar by saying, I hear you, Keem, but cartoon CP isn't the same as real CP. Nobody was harmed in the making of it, so there's no case against them. Ashton Forbes says, this is actually really dark, and I'm surprised it hasn't gone more mainstream. Nicholas Diorio then shares this Tipster tweet where he says, it's insane how people will literally ignore what's actually being said to fit their narrative against someone. It's the most blatant form of dishonest bad faith bullshit. Nick then comments on this by saying, this is the same guy who went live last night to say he hasn't seen the content of Vaush's porn folder, but will defend it regardless, by the way. Nick then tweets out this clip with the caption, bro, another one?
Alright guys, so as you know, there's been a lot of people on the internet making a big deal about the fact that Chris Tyson from the Mr. Beast crew came out as gender non-conforming recently, and they're trying to like make a lot of outrage and drama surrounding somebody basically just trying to live their life. But it's gotten to the point where people started digging into like old tweets of theirs and stuff like that to find some reason to cancel them. And the latest thing is that apparently Chris Tyson is a pedophile because he made some edgy jokes about lolly and kids. Now, I gotta be honest, they're not the kind of jokes that I personally would make, but we've literally gotten to the point where making edgy jokes makes you a pedophile. I kid you not, that's how low the bar for pedophilia has become. At this point, give it like a month or two, and you'll be considered a pedophile just for breathing the same air as children.
Nick continues by saying, for context, Chris Tyson was receiving criticism for posting/owning a lolicon artwork drawn by Shadman. Shadman was the person who drew Keemstar's daughter and lost his website over his disgusting depictions of Delphine Keen. Nick then shares this excerpt from an article that says, in the artwork posted by Tyson, the girl, who is drooling and has a saliva-covered gun in her mouth, is seen posing in a black tank top and pink bikini bottoms. Her top reads, "Bigfoot is real and he tried to eat my ass." The girl has braces, making her seem particularly young, and is wearing a hat which says, "Please be patient, I have autism." Disturbingly, the young female character also appears to have a brand-like tattoo on her upper thigh, indicating to signify a white female with an affinity for interracial sex, known as the Queen of Spades in the kink community. The symbol is also inscribed with the letters BBC. According to Urban Dictionary, BBC, in combination with the Queen of Spades symbol, refers to big black cock. Most commonly, the symbol is synonymous with cuckolding fetishes. Nexajed responds, "Is this recent? Because the whole Chris Shadman drama was a while ago." Nick responds, "This was Tipster defending Chris's purchase within the last calendar year," showing that the short Tipster made was posted on April 17th, 2023. Sensitive Society responds, "Someone needs to check his hard drive." Keemstar then quote tweets what Nick posted, and @s crew member of the H3 podcast Starkilla saying, "Bro, just watch this." Keemstar also shares with Starkilla this giant Reddit thread of every time Vaush has talked about pedophilia and child porn on his streams. And then Starkilla quote tweets Keem and says, "Keem sending me research was not on my bingo card." Nicholas Diorio responds, "Point of view. Keem is notifying you of the current Tipster/Vaush lore, showing a picture of a football player screaming in someone's face." TC Amber responds, "The enemy of my enemy?" And then Keemstar responds with this Twitter video.
Things you need to look for. Tipster, all right? Not the first time he's defended Lolly. Almost a year ago to the day, one of his moderators posted on Twitter a picture of Lolly. Now, before that moderator could even respond, Tipster started defending her left and right. Then the moderator realized, oh my God, I posted Lolly, I'm in the wrong, and apologized and deleted the tweet. You know what Tipster did? Doubled down, tripled down, and still defended her. But that's not it. Also, Chris from Mr. Beast, right? He got exposed for posting Lolly, right? Back in the day. The artist that made the Lolly that Chris posted from Mr. Beast is the same artist that drew my daughter in a sexual way and got canceled. Shaman or whatever the fuck his name is, all right? So it's personal. This is personal. I hate this shit. It's fucking disgusting, all right? Guess what Tipster did? Tipster defended Chris from Mr. Beast and that post. And that fucking post. So he has a long history of doing this. Here's the best part. Flamenco is a content creator who got exposed for having Lolly or posting Lolly or something like that, right? And last night on Tipster's stream, somebody donated to Tipster saying, you and Flamenco should go bowling together. Tipster said last night on stream, no, Flamenco is a pedo.
You and Flamenco should go bowling. Flamenco is a fucking pedo. Don't leave those kids alone.
Flamenco's a pedo, Tipster. But what about Vaush? But what about fucking Vaush? So I want these hypocritical fucking scumbags fucking deleted. I want them deleted. I want them fucking deleted. Vaush has such a long fucking history. And you guys are accused of taking them out of context. That show, I seen the clip now. I seen the full thing. You guys were more charitable about context than anyone I've ever seen on the fucking internet. And Ethan is right. It doesn't make sense. His response doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. That's why you shouldn't believe him. Plus, when you combine this happening multiple fucking times and the fact that this is on his fucking hard drive, bro, red flag, red flag, red flag, red flag. Same thing with Tipster. And then they talk about out of context and you're painting someone a fucking bad way. Cuffles has a history of fucking literally just straight up calling me a fucking pedophile. Like, so many fucking cases of her doing that. Receipt after receipt after receipt after receipt. So, one, this shit is disgusting. Anyone doing this lolly shit should fucking be deleted. But on top of it, it's fucking personal.
Avery responds by saying, the first thing that played in my mind when I saw the tag, laughing my ass off, showing a picture of Keemstar saying, I don't care if you win, I just need Vaush to lose. Nicholas Diorio then tweets out this clip with the caption, how far will Tipster go to defend people who don't deserve it?
Also, Chris from Mr. Beast, right? He got exposed for posting Lolly. The artist is the same artist that drew my daughter.
At the time, Keemstar's daughter was only 7 years old. On November 18th, 2016, Chad continued his trend of drawing real-life lolly art when he drew Lieutenant Corbus posed sexually with a microphone. Keep in mind that this girl was new to being a celebrity at the time, and once again, was just 11 years old. In a post from October 5th, 2010, Chad writes that he was forced to remove all pornographic images from his site because of laws in Switzerland that prohibited depicting underage people in art.
The Chris Tyson situation could become a complete disaster for MrBeast brand.
Now let's see what Tipster thinks.
Alright guys, so as you know, there's been a lot of people on the internet making a big deal about the fact that Chris Tyson from the Mr. Beast crew came out as gender non-conforming recently, and they're trying to make a lot of outrage and drama surrounding somebody basically just trying to live their life. But it's gotten to the point where people started digging into old tweets of theirs and stuff like that to find some reason to cancel them. And the latest thing is that apparently Chris Tyson is a pedophile because he made some edgy jokes about lolly and kids. Now, I gotta be honest, they're not the kind of jokes that I personally would make, but we've literally gotten to the point where making edgy jokes makes you a pedophile. I kid you not, that's how low the bar for pedophilia has become. At this point, give it a month or two, and you'll be considered a pedophile just for breathing the same air as children.
Papa Uwu X responds, Jimmy needs to stop trusting people too much. Not everyone shares the same worldview as him. He then shares a tweet where MrBeast says, yeah, this is getting absurd. Chris isn't my nightmare. He's my fucking friend, and things are fine. All this transphobia is starting to piss me off. And that was in response to Sunny V2's horrible video on Chris Tyson that didn't even mention any of the Shadman stuff and just said that Chris is a liability to MrBeast brand because they transitioned. So this tweet isn't MrBeast defending any of that Chadman stuff with Chris, but rather the idea that Chris would ruin MrBeast's brand just for their transition. As far as I know, MrBeast has not commented on the Chadman thing at all. Anyways, Connor says, it's never been more over for Big Tip. Nick also tweets out, these are the people freaking out about Ethan making jokes about Vaush on Instagram, by the way, showing that on one of Keffel's streams, she put text on screen that says, Keemstar's a pedophile, probably. Nick then shares more tweets and says, where was this energy for Keffels? The first tweet he shows is Keffel saying, Keemstar, why are you a pedophile? And then someone called Justin responding, he touches little boys, I'm sure. The next tweet Nick shows is quite the combination of quote tweets, but it starts out with drama alert, clipping DSP lying to his viewers, Tipster quote tweeting that, saying that news must be slow for drama alert if they are covering DSP lying about the food he's eaten, and then Keemstar quote tweets that and says, Tipster is mad we covered a story that didn't involve rape. If it had some rape in it, he definitely wouldn't be complaining. He loves rape. And then Keffels responds, I have always wanted to ratio a pedophile. The next screenshot shows Augie RFC saying, Tipster's Twitter feed is promoting child transitioning and pro-deplatforming. Cancerous ass ideology. Keemstar responds, agree. And then Keffels says, Keemstar, you want to fuck 16-year-olds. You shouldn't have an opinion on trans kids. You should stay away from them. And then the next screenshot is Chris the Narc responding to a Keffels tweet saying, damn, someone got mad I memed on them. What happened to jokes here? And then Keffels responds, putting ex-producer of the Keemstar show in bio is basically like putting ex-vice president of NAMBLA in bio. Nicholas then shares screenshots of Tipster supporting Keffels falsely accusing Keemstar as a pedophile with the caption, I mean, Tipster can delete his other tweets all he wants. You can look up him endorsing these comments Keffels made about Keem through replies and retweets. He then shows a screenshot of Keffels responding to Tipster talking about how he's been on YouTube for 17 years by saying, suddenly realizing why Keemstar hates you. He won't fuck with you, and in a year from now, he won't even fuck your channel. And then Tipster responding with a laughing gif and showing that Tipster liked the tweet where Keffel said she always wanted to ratio a pedophile in response to Keemstar. But not only did Tipster like this tweet, but he also retweeted it, as Confusing Opinion showed me in this screenshot he shared. That also shows Tipster about a year ago saying, the fact that we are still seeing people shit on Keemstar for dating an adult woman as if she were a child just shows how mentally impaired people are who consistently live their entire lives on the internet. Please, for the love of God, go outside into the real world for once. Speaking of old tipster tweets, Nick tweets out this one and says, this is a really weird tweet, showing tipster saying last year that pedos aren't attracted to people who look young, they are attracted to people who are young. By that logic, anyone who is attracted to Kiwi Sunset or Belle Delphine is a pedo, shaking my head. People seem to think this tweet is about tipster defending lolicon, and that isn't true. Tipster's dismissing the very real fears of a girl with a disability who looks indistinguishable from an 8-year-old. Both Shauna and her parents are afraid of pedophiles targeting her. Nick then shows the full context to that conversation tipster had, showing Perez Hilton reacting to that girl's situation by saying, this new TV show is so perfect for TLC and their viewers. Tipster quote tweets him and says, she's 23, he's 28, but because her disability makes her short and look younger, him dating her is a red flag? This is literally the dumbest shit I have ever heard. People are so desperate for a pedo hunt that they are turning two adults dating each other into a pedo situation. Pork and Morkin responds, cause she looks 8 man. Only certain dudes are going to like that, and it's weird. And then Tipster responding by saying that pedos aren't attracted to people who look young, but people who are young. And that argumentation, in my opinion, lines up with Tipster's defense of Vaush's lolly, because in the world of Tipster, to where he thinks pedos are only attracted to people who are young rather than look young, lolly doesn't have an age. It's just a depiction of a kid. The whole point is that it looks like a kid, regardless of what the canonical age is, like 3,000 or 20 or whatever. If it looks like a kid and it's sexualized, it's lolly. So according to Tipster, if you have lolly on your computer but they are canonically above the age of 18, it's not lolly, which obviously doesn't make any sense. But regardless, Nick combos this context by showing this screenshot of an article that's headlined, 22-year-old who is stuck in the body of an 8-year-old admits her parents are afraid she will attract pedophiles because of her childlike appearance as she opens up about dating struggles. Nick continues by saying, imagine you are a woman living with an unfortunate disability who's afraid creeps will try and seek her out / harm her for degenerate reasons. And this dude comes out with, well, actually, ma'am, that's not how being a pedo works. Keemstar responds by saying, how does he know what pedos think? Zip Zappity says, both of these women are grown individuals who obviously look like women. Boogie2988 reacts to what Tipster said by saying, people who look at anime-inspired art that depicts people that look like literal children but are actually 400-year-old demons or some shit to skirt the pedophilia of it need to have their hard drives checked. Well, you see, officer, she's not actually 7. She's a 1,000-year-old goddess from the planet Zenu. It's okay to jerk off to it. This is why cops should be allowed to shoot pedophiles. Parasite X responds, you were like the last person who should be talking about morals. AR Seal responds, your channel is older than your girlfriend, and you were trying to take a moral high ground with cartoons, lol. Laughing my ass off even. Dojangle says, now Boogie and Tipster are fighting, my 2 least favorite death farts. This is amazing. Now Nicholas Diorio, Keemstar, Krista Nark, and other people on Twitter weren't the only ones to react to Tipster's horrible live stream, as Ethan did as well, alongside responding to all the discussion about Vaush and Keffels and everything going on. And of course, Tipster was not happy about this, so he took a clip from Ethan's stream out of context and captions it by saying, y'all heard the man.
I will happily dab up with the Nazi.
Legend Higgy responds, still fighting because you defended someone possessing CP, huh? Strange hill to die on. Tipster then continues tweeting when he says, I for one will not be happily dabbing up with any Nazis. Just thought I should put that out there. James responds, but pedos you were perfectly fine with, right? A says, dog, go put your sleep apnea mask on and go to sleep. Maybe jerk off to the lolly folder while you're at it too. Tipster then continues to cope tweet about Ethan by sharing another out of context clip and saying, lollipop, oh, Ethan's a lollipop, pop, ba-dum-dum-dum.
I just want to say I thought she's hot. That's it. You didn't? She was like a lady. She's not a little girl. She's like a full-blown 17. Fuck. But it's a cartoon. It's a
For the record, I obviously don't think Ethan is a lolicon or a pedo, but dude, you kinda set yourself up for that one. Lol. Dylan Chatterton responds, cheers, my horse! Love ya. No pedo. Stories by Oren says, is this the same as downloading and organizing a lolly library? Achito says, Vaush, Hassan, Keffels, Chris Tyson, Tipster, Ryan Beard, and everyone else like them need to be expelled from society. Ryan Beard responds, why are you lumping me in with this group right now? I have been criticizing Vaush for his takes on CP and him having lolly on his computer for the past few days. I'm not on his side in this situation. People then find find and share even more suspicious clips of Tipster, like Hannah Clark here, who shares one of them and says, "Tipster!"
So Tipster says, "Nice, looks great. Also, your friend kinda cute, haha." AP says, "Ayo, she's 16.
I'm a pedophile.
Moving on to some more silly tweets, Stormy says, "Now that Tipster is trending, let me remind you," showing a tweet Tipster made in response to Elon Musk that says, "I've always wanted to ratio Elon Musk," and then once the tweet only gets 13 likes, he responds, "Never gonna happen, but right about now would be a hilarious time to do it, lol." FPS Diesel shows these artistic interpretations of Tipster and says, "Tipster if he was black or Chinese." Dojangles shows this Valentine card with the picture of Tipster on it in the caption, "I love you harder than Tipster defends lolly." Doc on the Radio shows an old video from 2 years ago titled Tipster All Endings and says, "This was not how it was supposed to end." Mighty D shows a picture of Tipster and says, "Can we take a moment to acknowledge what a vile, fat, slimy, degenerate creep Tipster is?" Matt Pitt shares this tweet where Tipster quote tweets Keffels and says, "You defended him against Hassan's community. I defended him. And so did Vaush. We were willing to see the nuance of his arguments and defend him because it was the right thing to do. The least he can do is do the same for Vaush." Matt Pitt comments on this by saying, "When Tipster says, 'I defended him,' he means, I piled on him with the rest of my community bros who hated this dude, but when I stopped hanging out with them, I stuck his dick in my mouth when he started using me as a soundbite." Nick also says on Twitter, Ethan Klein, "It's not normal to save images AI lolicon horse porn." Keffels, "Have you ever considered how this affects the trans community?" Tipster, "Did you know Nazis also don't think lolicon horse porn is ethical?" Keffels, "Yeah, Ethan's past isn't clean. He said the N-word." Tipster, "It infuriates me that Ethan won't show why Vaush had those images on his computer." Keffels, "So bad faith. He's going out of his way to not play the clip." The clip, Vaush, "I have to explain how goblins are drawn in traditional hentai manga. Ever heard of a short stack?" Chris the Narc tweets out that Tipster's trending and says, "Is he gonna tweet how awesome he is for trending again or what?" If you want to learn why Tipster was trending last time, I have a video titled Twitter versus Tipster that you can check out after this one, but Tipster does respond to him trending in present day by saying, "What did I do this time?" with 2 pointing finger emojis. Nick shows this and says, "LOL!" Chris then quote tweets himself and says, "He lasted 1 fucking day." Xylee says, "I fucking hate that man." And then Keemstar shows a response to Tipster's tweet from Krynozenix who says, "Openly defend someone who is in possession of CP." And then Keemstar captioning it by saying, "Tipster destroyed." Connor tweets out the domino effect meme image, starting at him making a stream against Tipster in 2022 called Spurg Stomper, and then ending at H3 making fun of Tipster for defending Vaush for having child porn on his computer. He captions it by saying, "The Tipster domino effect, laughing my fucking ass off." And speaking of that stream where Ethan responded to Vaush and Tipster, he also responded to Keffels' defense of Vaush. And both Keffels and Tipster reacted to it in real time in this horrible, now deleted 5-hour Keffels stream. And we will cover all of the crazy stuff that was said in that and the Twitter reactions to it in the next video. So if you don't want to miss that, be sure to subscribe to this channel with notifications on. If you want to hear my in-depth thoughts on the Tipster stream that everybody was reacting to in this video, I recently did an in-depth reaction on my second channel, Mayo Monkey, so I will leave that video on the end screen right now if you want to check it out. But with all that being said, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in another video.